Hi, friends. It's Thursday, and you know what that means. That means it's time to ignite the dynamite of the day after Dynamite. And welcome to Day After Dynamite. I'm Will Washington, the host of Day After Dynamite. But I'm not alone here. I'm never alone here. But today I'm joined by a great friend. She is one of my favorite Twitter users. She is Miss Keeks, Queen Keeks, Dastardly Duo 3 on Twitter. Always talking shit, and it's always great.
Always.
It's
I wouldn't
always
be me.
exactly. And I'm very happy to have you here. Right here on
Thank
Day After
you.
Dynamite. We're talking Dynamite. We all watched it last night, or at least most of us did, because ratings are in, and we'll talk about those at the end of the show. But also, today was a special day because today was the pre-sale for AEW X New Japan Forbidden Door. Tickets went on sale today, and I got one. I'm shocked at where I got one, but I got a ticket.
Right.
And so I'm excited. I got a front row seat. I legit wasn't gonna buy one.
Why?
I won't say that. I mean, I was gonna go, but it was one of those things where uh, I wasn't gonna try and do the queue thing unless I could get like first couple rows. I thought, what are the chances? This is United Center, and as soon as I got in the queue, it normally I see the 2,000 plus, and I'm like, all right, I'm not getting one because after 2,000 it stops counting.
Right.
But it was like a 3-digit number, and I thought, no fucking way, no way did I actually end up here in the queue. And then it starts winding down, and I get in, and I pick a front row seat. I go add to cart, and I'm like, it's gonna tell me it's gone, and then it added to my cart. I'm like, all right, I
Well,
guess I
you
got.
one of the lucky ones.
I know. Well, especially because I won't even say what face value for this actually is because I feel really bad for everybody who's not paying face value right now. But it wasn't much at all, and I'm happy. I'm going. I'm ready.
You got
Uh,
the steal.
yeah, I did. Now, unfortunately, I looked at flights to Chicago, and they are a nightmare. So
Y'all gonna have to take that risk and fly Spirit. Them
even
the cheapest ones.
even Spirit, everything's like $500 right now.
The best one I seen from Dallas off of Spirit was at least a good 350. That's some change.
Yeah,
But
no,
yes.
nothing is looking good right now. So, and I'm reading the chat right now. Your dad says, I almost bought resale on accident. It was $3,000 for 4 tickets. Jeez.
Don't do
Uh,
that. I wouldn't want you to do that.
and everybody, send us your super chats. We'll be reading them on the show. Give us your Humper chats as well, humperchats.com. I'll be reading those. Van Twinblade says, I don't want to hear nothing about the main event being bad or not having a reason to happen. No one said that about Suzuki versus Joe or Woods versus Yuta. Do you know what show you're watching, Van Twinblade? Of course
Right.
you do. We're going to say that. I have some takes on it, but not the ones you're thinking.
Mm-mm.
So this Day After Dynamite, and we talk about Dynamite. We talk about everything that took place on Dynamite. Dynamite, by the way, was live from the the Chesapeake Employees Insurance Arena in Baltimore, Maryland. And one
Mm-hmm.
of the first things people noticed about the arena was it was brighter.
Yep.
Everything, the whole setup looked
What y'all been crying about for weeks.
and
He finally did it.
and I thought it was maybe just something with the arena, because it looked great. The only thing I didn't like about it was the where you could see the contrast between the curtain that is behind the stage
Mm.
and the background of the arena, which was white. And so, if there was a way to blend all that together, I probably would have done it. But otherwise, I thought it looked really good. Like, it was the first thing I noticed was, wow, this is a much brighter setup. And I didn't realize till Tony tweeted it that it was intentional. It wasn't just an arena thing. It was he wanted to go back to the old lighting, like the people were suggesting. Uh,
Right.
so that was really cool. I actually loved the way it looked, and for whatever reason, just being able to see, I feel like this is something you can very much do in a in a more packed setting like that, because that was, I want to say they had like 4,500 people there, and I believe that's pretty close to capacity for that particular arena.
Right.
So, yeah, it looked really good. And honestly, I feel like going forward, if they do have packed setups like that, show everybody, brighten it up, show that there are people as far back as the arena goes.
I like the dark lights. I don't care what nobody's saying.
But like, I get it. I get it in that, like, I know TV people have always said for years that you always want to create a contrast between what's happening in the ring and what's happening in the background, so that way, again, it's a contrast. But at the same time, I don't know. I like seeing people. I like seeing the looks on people's faces, like, collectively, and I don't necessarily want people to just fade into the background. I feel like I don't lose what's happening in the ring seeing that many people. And it like,
that makes sense.
The Attitude Era got by that way with just lighting the people brightly, and you could see everybody's signs, but I feel like we never missed what was happening in the ring. So,
right.
I don't know. Chris says, I got section 319, but just 3.5 hour drive to Chicago from Indy for me. Hey,
I know that's right.
I mean, look, here's the thing. And thank you for the super chat. The 3.5 hour drive from, I don't know. I'm still trying to figure out how I'm going to even get to Chicago. And if I end up driving, for me, that's going to be like a 16-hour drive. And I might still do it if flights, but then gas prices are shit too. Like, I don't know.
It went down just a little, but not a lot. Not enough to drive 16 hours.
No, not enough. So, you ready to get into the show itself?
Let's get to it.
Do you want to tell the world a little bit about yourself, Keeks, before we do? Because, like, I've never hosted with you. Like, most of the time, it's usually people that everybody's, like, familiar with seeing me with. I think you and I have one picture together from Ring of Honor, Supercard of Honor, back at the beginning of April. But other than that, we've never hosted together. So, therefore, floor is yours.
Everybody, I am Keeks. I am located in Dallas. You'll see me mostly at Dallas or Texas indie shows, Wrestle Rave, New Texas Pro, just different promotions out here in the local area in Texas. I do color commentating from time to time. I am a podcaster. I have shows coming out. And you're just going to see me a lot in New York, especially this summer. New York, things like that. And I'd also do sponsorships too. So
follow Dastardly Duo 3.
Yeah.
So we kicked off with Adam Cole, baby, hitting commentary. He's here for the Owen Hart Memorial Cup qualifying match. Bobby Fish, a member of the Undisputed Elite, going one-on-one with Jeff Hardy, the winner facing the already qualified Darby Allin. Darby Allin, of course, in the rafters for this match. And I believe the collective age of this match, Bobby Fish versus Jeff Hardy, was 2000. But we actually saw... I'm sorry. No, for real, though. We were dealing with in-ring veterans here, I suppose, is the better way to put that. Jeff Hardy and Bobby Fish went one-on-one. First time ever. I guess I wasn't shocked by the ending. The moment we learned that the winner was facing Darby Allin, it's like, okay.
I already knew.
Yeah, Jeff Hardy has said that he wants to face Darby Allin. He thinks Darby Allin's one of the coolest guys around, and that he sees a lot of himself in Darby. Why wouldn't he want to face Darby? Any booker on the planet would do what they could to get us to this match, but they're both baby faces. How do you do it? You do it via a tournament. Jeff Hardy defeated Bobby Fish. I don't know. This was a match. I don't. It wasn't bad. It was a match. It existed. It was mostly Bobby working over Jeff Hardy till Jeff made a quick comeback, and he hit the sit down the head thing Jeff Hardy does is. You know what I'm talking about.
I know what you're talking about.
You know what I described
head thing.
You know when I described the sit down head thing.
Right.
That
like something he made up. I've never seen it before.
Yeah. Oh, shout out Orion Ben 666 says Will's road travel vlog, hour 6. Starting to wonder if I locked the doors behind before I left. Hour 11. Well, that hitchhiker didn't look so bad. LOL, congrats. Thank you.
In the middle of driving, like, hold on, I'm 5 hours out. Did I turn off the stove?
Yeah. Man. And that's the thing, too, is I will say one of the tricks to getting good tickets to events is never be afraid to go by yourself. Because a lot of times you can end up, because I didn't buy 2 tickets, I bought a single. And it just happened to be front row by itself. Hadn't been marked platinum pricing yet. And nobody picked it up, so I grabbed it. But that's also how I got that really good seat to what show was that? Grand Slam. Grand Slam was another one where I was just looking. I wasn't really intending on going, and then I looked and saw this ramp side seat by itself. There was nothing else by it, and so I was like, add to cart. Why not? If you're not afraid to go by yourself, you can end up with some great seats to some great shows. So
I go to plenty of AEW shows by myself sometimes. If I don't have my sister or my cousin, I go by myself. It's a good time sometimes when you go by yourself.
What was the last one you went to? Did you go to Battle of the Belts?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay. So
you talking about the most recent one? Yeah. I didn't get to go to the most recent one.
Okay.
Yeah. The last show that I went to, the AEW show, was the show where it was Adam Page versus Daniel.
For Bryan Danielson. Yeah, okay. At Curtis Colwell. I figured if anybody was going to be at those Dallas shows, it was going to be you, or Dallas area. You know what, though? Okay, I have a bone to pick with professional wrestling companies who claim Dallas area when they're talking about Garland. That's not Dallas. I mean, I guess it is relative, like, more so than any other city.
It's Dallas County. If it's still in Dallas County, it's Dallas.
But it took me like half an hour. To me, that's not Dallas anymore.
That's Dallas. It's still Dallas. It's in Dallas County. Okay. We just big like that. Sorry.
See, like because I was like, obviously, at the time I was at the, what was it? The collective shows before driving to Ring of Honor. And it ended up being in traffic like 40-something minutes. That wasn't, I don't know. Yeah, and they're talking about in the chat. They said it's called a suburb. Will, I know, but you know what? I live in Aurora, Colorado, and I suppose if I'm talking to somebody not from here, I'd say, oh yeah, it's Denver, because Aurora is right next to Denver. It's pretty much considered a suburb, right? However, if you're here, I wouldn't say Denver at all. I would straight up just say, look, it's in Aurora. You're going to be driving about half an hour to get here if you're in Denver.
Right.
I don't know. Anyway, the most intriguing part of this, and we kind of knew where this was going. If you watch BTE, you knew this was headed here. But after the match was over, Jeff Hardy celebrating, got the victory. Matt Hardy comes in, and just as the Bobby Fish as Kyle O'Reilly and Adam Cole are checking on Bobby Fish, out come the other 2 members of the Undisputed Elite.
Right.
Not the Hardys, the Young Bucks. The Young Bucks make their way out, and they have a bit of a stare down with the Hardys. And there's some intrigue. I think they're going here immediately. I think Double or Nothing, there's no better time to just dive right in to the Hardys versus the Young Bucks one more time. It's been 5 years since we've seen it. Let's just do it. Get it out the way. You have these 2 teams here. That's one of the big things I believe is if you got them, just do it now. I don't believe in waiting on dream matches if you got it. So, because you never know. You may lose the opportunity to do that dream match. Look at how much stuff they lost from Cody because they waited on the opportunities to do things with Cody. And now there's like 100 matches they left on the table because he If you got the Young Bucks and the Hardys now, do the Young Bucks and the Hardys. And I think of no better place to do it than Double or Nothing. I'll be there. So this match is like a total C minus. I didn't think much about the match at all, but I am intrigued by the Hardys and the Young Bucks. What do you think?
Yeah. That should be a great Double or Nothing because we only have 2 matches so far on the card. So it'll make sense if they just put that in as a little fun. Nothing. It shouldn't take 20 minutes, 10-minute match. It should be at least a good, I say 8 to 12-minute match. A little, just a little something for the something fun for the crowd.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like if you whatever they've got as far as the Hardys and the Bucks are concerned, I say give it to them. If you've got 20 minutes of content, like I don't see a better opportunity to do it because at this point I'm like, look, Jeff Hardy. I have felt Jeff Hardy has seemed a little bit sluggish for a while.
Yeah.
And it feels like people are like just now noticing that. They're like, oh, I don't like Jeff Hardy in AEW. Like Jeff Hardy's come off like this since like 2018.
Yeah, those old bumps that he used to take is catching up to him. So
yeah, and he does not come off like the Jeff of old, and I'm okay with that.
Right.
So to me, I say this is probably the best Jeff you're gonna get.
Yes.
Just go with what you got. Don't plan on another one. The Hardys and the Young Bucks just do it and do it well. And that's it.
That's all they can do. That's all they can do at this point.
So on road to Baltimore this week, we had a really great 3-minute video package of William Regal and the Blackpool Combat Club.
Yes.
People were saying air that on TV. Obviously, a 3-minute video package is a lot for TV, but they were able to trim this down to like 45 seconds. And we got to see the meat of that video package here and see the best parts of it. William Regal talking up the scars that the Blackpool Combat Club will leave. This is a good package. This is really good.
It was a beautiful package.
Yes. And
beautifully done.
Beautifully done. I thought that Regal just comes off so menacing. And people are really into this group. I know there's this kind of contingency of fans who are very disappointed that we've lost out all of a sudden on singles Danielson because he was on such a great singles run from the time he came in till really Revolution. But at the same time, this group is also getting really over. People really love it. It's very unique that Bryan like still comes out of the heel tunnel, and so like they all enter from 3 different places. You have Bryan out the heel tunnel, you Wheeler at the face tunnel, and Moxley through the crowd. And so it's like 3 different it's guys who come from 3 different areas to give you the Blackpool Combat Club. That to me is really cool. And they're doing these squashes that again, they're fun. Obviously this has to lead somewhere eventually. I have my hunch.
I have my theories. I feel like
I want to hear it.
I can potentially see them versus House of Black.
House of Black, okay.
One day.
So House of Black seems like in the immediate future they're still tied up with what do you call them? Was it Death Triangle? Yes. Why did I forget their name?
Yes, that would be good too.
Yeah, so
I would like to see that.
Yeah, and so that's where it seems like we're at the moment, and that's fine. However, I do feel like we are much closer to, in the immediate future, I would go with the Undisputed Elite versus the Blackpool Combat Club. I do Adam Cole, Bobby Fish, and like just the 3. Because I figure if you're tying up the Bucks with the Hardys, then you can do Cole, Fish, and O'Reilly versus Wheeler, Moxley, and Bryan. And that would probably tear the house down to Double or Nothing.
That would be good too.
And I feel like that's, to me, I don't know. That to me feels like the place to go for those 6.
I have a Adam Cole and Bryan little face off. I could see that.
Yeah, Man, your phone is going off, by the way.
I know everybody's feel like, God, okay.
And so, and by the way, I know I said it yesterday that, hey, I'm all good on Humper Chats, but all of a sudden, Humper Chats is telling me unauthorized permission, trying to look at the Humper Chats. I'm very annoyed at this, and I'm gonna. So, bear with me here.
No, we're good.
So, hold on. Why is this happening? I am sorry, chatters.
His chat not loading. My chat is booming. So
I don't know. I have to look at why it tells me unauthorized permission all of a sudden. And John D. Barker says, I think we're getting Jericho Appreciation Society versus Blackpool Combat Club 2. There's a lot of places you can go with it. Because like I said, Jericho Appreciation Society is tied up with Santana, Ortiz, and Kingston. So like when I think about the groups that aren't tied up with anything, that's where I feel like the Undisputed Elite and the Blackpool Combat Club. There's like a piece of lint right there.
That can work because William Regal and Chris Jericho do have history. That would be a good little.
Yeah, I feel
that would be a good little storyline.
Yeah, I feel like that's a place they could go to. There's a lot of different places they can go. I don't know, but this here was another Blackpool Combat Club squash. They kicked the crap out of Butcher and the Blade and Helico. And there wasn't much more to that.
Yeah.
I mean, I will say that this was a little bit more on the competitive side. It went a little bit longer. Looks like it went 7 minutes and 43 seconds. And there was a jump start to it. John Moxley got jumped during his entrance. But for the most part, the guys all got to show out Moxley. They all kind of did what they did best. And it ended with Brian hitting the stomps on Angelico. We very much got to enjoy William Regal on commentary. Him failing at pronouncing Angelico's name, and he said Angelico was textbook William Regal. But in the end, Blackpool Combat Club won. This was another kind of C+ match, and like nothing really to write home about. More Blackpool Combat Club showing out.
Right.
However, so backstage, William Regal. We're done with Regal. Backstage, Hobbs and Ricky Starks are approached by Jurassic Express. They respond to the challenge of Jurassic Express defending the titles against Hobbs and Starks against Team Taz. Team Taz responds that they want the match. Jungle Boy says, I'll give you the match, but before we get there, I want to shout at the FTW title. So we're going to all of a sudden see next week Jungle Boy versus Ricky Starks.
Which will be a good match.
I know. I'm like fired up about this. I'm so excited. But then we return from commercial break to Swerve and Keith Lee, letting us know that they ain't done with Team Taz. That there's more to come. What could this mean? Guess we'll find out.
Because they also like in the ranking as far as the tag team division, right? They're like number 3 behind Acclaimed or something like that. I saw.
Swerve and Keith?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't see that. Hold on. I actually have rankings right in front of me, don't I? The rankings are. No, they're not ranked yet.
Oh, okay.
Not yet, anyway. But who knows? Because I know that they actually closed out the taping this week. They taped one extra. They're saying I'm having audio issues again. Am I really? Is this what's happening?
You sound good on my end.
They said I'm roboing.
You were, but it's not. It's gone.
Okay, says it's fixed. Fine. That's the perfect time for me to read Van Twin Blade's super chat. He says, I was talking to people at STL versus the World. We want blood and guts for January 15th. JAS versus LAX. with Mox and Brian as mercenaries. Hey, that would be fun. I would love that.
I would too. He had my attention. Whoever.
And so, I would say what ended up being kind of a surpriser of the night was Wardlow taking on his mystery opponent, W. Morrissey. Everybody expected W. Morrissey. They dropped all the hints. They didn't drop any hints in any other direction. They told us he's 7 foot tall and you can't teach that, and that really only applies to one person. So Wardlow versus W. Morrissey. One, if you haven't been watching Impact, Morrissey is in phenomenal shape. I have been watching Impact, so I knew this. But for those who hadn't, this wasn't the Morrissey of old. And it's funny, my son is watching, and he goes, "Is that Edge?" Because it's like everybody sees Big Cass, and like that's the immediate thought. But Billy immediately thought that was Edge, and he's like, "Edge is in AEW." I'm like, one, Edge is not 7 feet tall in his dreams. And
he's a taller version of Edge.
Yeah, he's a much taller Edge. But the funny thing too is and thank you, John, for letting me know. That was actually how I found out about the audio. So they're saying that I've gone bad again, that the audio is coming out really fast. Gosh, damn it. Hold on 2 seconds. I'm gonna refresh. You're gonna look at Keeks for the time being. Enjoy the beautiful and lovely Keeks. But now I've returned. So, this match was mostly W. Morrissey. Am I better, by the way? Is it working? Is it fine?
Yeah.
Okay.
You're fine.
You're gonna have to alert me of these things, otherwise we gotta. I don't know. Anyway, W. Morrissey worked over Wardlow the entire match, and really got to show out and look good. I think one of the best parts of this match was the crowd chanting, "We want Enzo," the other half of the crowd responding, "No, we don't," and Morrissey playing with the chants and then getting them to stop. The way he did the little Enzo dance, then flipped them all off, was perfect. It was a perfect way to get him to stop. Perfect way to play around with that. Because, like, I think there's a big portion of the audience, I mean, you don't even have to think. You can look at numbers and see it, that doesn't follow or watch Impact. And so there's a lot of people who didn't know and weren't aware that Morrissey has been out here working, that this isn't a guy who just disappeared. There's a lot of people who were under the impression, okay, last time I heard about this guy was when he was in WWE. I know him via Enzo and Cass, so we're going to chant, "We want Enzo." And he played around with that and then did his thing. But Wardlow ends up getting the comeback in this match via a very impressive moonsault. The man landed on his feet, but not in that kind of Charlotte Flair kind of way where it looks like bad, but like in a I don't know. It looked really good in a aggressively sloppy way because he got all of it. He still did connect. And then he ends up hitting that power bomb on Morrissey. He didn't go for more than one, but just the single one was super impressive on a guy as big as Morrissey. I wasn't sure how good it was going to look. It looked great. There it is. Wardlow has defeated Morrissey. Morrissey still looks strong, but ultimately, this is Wardlow's world, and we're just living in it.
I hope he continues to have matches in AEW. He fits in.
I was surprised at that. I was surprised. I thought, because I was not the biggest Cass guy, especially in 2018, him feuding with Bryan, the Potbelly, none of that worked for me. But you know what? That man has figured out his shape. He is looking good in the ring. I don't know if I would necessarily sign him, but I would say I keep him on retainer. Yeah, kind of like Eric Rowan or Eric Redbeard. He's one of those guys who, like, I wouldn't sign Eric Redbeard, but at the same time, that man had a great performance at Revolution. I would definitely keep him on retainer. He's one of those guys that I would at least call when I need him.
Like a part-timer?
Yeah, something along those
Yeah.
lines. Yeah.
Or ROH.
Yeah, ROH is a good pick. Yeah,
Yeah.
because like even if it was something like, because I was thinking about Peter Avalon, the contract he's on right now, where like he's not on the roster anymore, but he is still signed on a as needed basis. That's the kind of contract I'd sign those guys to. But yeah, of course, I didn't even think about that. ROH is a probably a great place for him.
Right. We keep forgetting Tony has ROH now, so
And he does officially, by the way, because
officially the
the
owner.
deal closed yesterday, and now he not only owns Ring of Honor, he has all the access to the footage. He is the owner of Ring of Honor as of yesterday. So, good on them. Hey, then Wardlow was talking with, and by the way, this match, B-. I was actually very happy with this whole segment. I thought Wardlow came off really well. Wardlow was handcuffed, and he ends up deciding, nah, I'm done with this. He starts beating up security. They send down more security. He starts taking out every single member of security. It was one of the most impressive security run-ins that we probably ever seen in pro wrestling. He ends up throwing one of the members of security into all the others. They all fall down. MJF grabs the mic, and Wardlow says he's done with this, and he will not stop until MJF releases him from his contract. MJF finally agrees that he'll agree to it, but only under his stipulations. And I thought, oh, you guys better have a new idea in mind.
Yeah, because we saw it with Jericho. We don't want to see it again.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, and we saw it. Man, your phone just farted at us, by the way. That vibration. But yeah, and there it goes again. And so we saw because we saw it with Cody as well. He did this exact thing with Cody, where he had.
He did.
Yeah, where he was gonna whip Cody. Cody had to wrestle in the cage match. And so I'm hoping they don't do just like a straight up 5 labors again. Like come up with something newer,
a little different. Because I've been saying that.
Yeah. So MJF says that they're going to do the contract signing next week. MJF's hometown of Long Island, New York, the happiest place on earth, as MJF has called it. I don't know. I've never been in Long Island.
Yeah, I've never heard nobody call it that, but okay.
Long Island, by the way, though, a city that famously, as of the last visit the AEW had there, not fans of CM Punk, so it'll be very interesting. Holy hell, that vibration is going to drive me nuts.
I'm sorry. They keep blowing my phone up.
All right. So we're then joined by the AEW World's Heavyweight Champion, Hangman Adam Page. But he's here to tell us something a little bit different than we were used to. He comes out here and he's not in a jovial mood, and he is straight up here to tell us that he does not want a happy handshake Bret Hart tribute masturbatory match with CM Punk. He is here to fight CM Punk, and then he told the audience, hey, CM Punk's not here. Surprise, surprise, he's off filming another show. And that's that. He wants to embarrass CM Punk. He wants to fight CM Punk. He is going to bring CM Punk the fight of his life. And then he calls out a guy in the crowd in a CM Punk shirt, tells him he's going to disappoint that man by beating CM Punk for the AEW World Championship at Double or Nothing. What did you think of this?
I'm glad that he did that, because we both seen the criticism that Adam Page just get. Like he's a babyface, but he doesn't give us that raw edge. You know what I'm saying? Like, because they're so used to how WWE book their faces, so they want that in Adam Page. And people now confusing what Adam Page said yesterday as him turning heel. And it's like, no, he's not turning heel. He's just letting you know that just because he's a good person don't mean he's not looking for a fight either.
Yeah, I didn't really take it as much of a heel thing. Like, calling out a fan, I thought was probably as far as heelish as I think he was willing to go. It felt more like, to give it a comparison to WWE, it felt more kind of John Cena Rockish, where like Cena didn't turn heel, but he was going to call out Rock fans. And I feel like that's kind of where he was going. And I think that with us next week being set up to have CM Punk returning to a city that he has famously dunked on in Long Island, a city that's not going to be on Punk's side, I think that they also do position Punk to be kind of in a bit of a heel seat next week, where you can kind of have these guys go at each other. But I will say that this kind of lit a fire under this, what's going to be a feud, because I think last week was supposed to do that. And then, of course, Hangman had COVID, wasn't able to work the show. And so, therefore, Punk was just able to cut his own promo. And with those two not able to work together this week, now Punk's not there. It's just Hangman. And so we kind of lost a week of these guys getting to interact. And all of a sudden now there's only 3 Dynamites left. We've only got, next week in Long Island, the week after in Houston, and then week after that in Vegas. And that's it. That's all we got here. So we kind of lost 2 weeks of build for these guys.
But they're doing good as far, with each other absence to have that build. So they don't necessarily have to do the whole shebang, but they're doing pretty good, just setting it up, because the hype is already there.
Yeah, the hype is there, and just in the match existing. And like the fact is, because the build has always been there. The build has been there in the fact that CM Punk from the night after Revolution was motioning that he wants the title. That's been the build. He's been getting singles wins. There hasn't necessarily been a rivalry here, and I think that's what people are kind of itching for, is for these two to become rivals. And hopefully over the next few weeks we get more of that, because we need it. And I think the next 3 weeks are going to show us what these guys can do. But before we get there, Chris Jericho is now the Wizard. The fuck does that mean? He was...
I mean, us being black, we know what that means.
Yeah, that's a problem. Right? So, like, Chris Jericho was introduced as the Wizard. I don't know what the Wizard actually means, but here we had our new... so, Chris Jericho is out there to face Santana, first time ever. Santana in a singles match against Chris Jericho. I like this match a lot, actually. I thought Santana got to show fire. He got the match started early on. They brawled on the outside before they even got in the ring. And, because he shoots fireballs, the Wizard. Okay, the chat's explaining that.
Oh, okay, from last week. Okay.
Yeah.
Nobody catches. I didn't catch that
Black Sabbath reference. Okay. Orion says, again, going back to last week, Jericho using hood terms, not realizing they hood terms. But yeah, I thought this was a good showing for Santana. And Santana really took the fight and the fire to Chris Jericho. The fact that Chris Jericho actually had to resort to a low blow to even take care of Santana was actually, I thought, a good showing for Santana. They did the brawling on the outside. Santana, of course, with the Eddie Guerrero offense, he got to hit the Three Amigos in what was an interesting frog splash that he didn't really get the hype, but at the same time it looked dope, which is something that he's done plenty of times before. But this was his first singles match with Chris Jericho. So I don't know. I enjoyed seeing these guys go at it. And but Jericho ultimately ends up winning with the Judas Effect. Again, the Jericho Appreciation Society continues to get the best of Eddie Kingston, Santana, and Ortiz, because it's still 5-on-3.
Yes.
And I like the story they're telling here. That oh, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, reference also in the match with Jericho and Santana, it was brief similarities when it was Jericho versus Eddie Guerrero in WCW. They did a few spots that was similar to when Eddie and Jericho used to wrestle each other in WCW. I just want to put that there.
Yeah, so I thought that I guess one of the coolest things I liked here, I like the story they continue to tell that no matter what keeps happening, and it sounds like my audio's gone bad again. At least that's what they're telling me in the chat. Man, this just happened on Grapsody because I feel like this has just been happening throughout this episode. Maybe I've got like
Cinco de Mayo, man. It's
yeah, I know, right? I actually forgot that's what day it is. It's multiple friends of mine's birthdays, but I completely spaced on it being Cinco de Mayo, despite the fact that my friends have birthdays on May 5th. But okay, I'll refresh one more time, chat. Thank you. Rough episode today as far as this happening. But hopefully, do I sound okay now? Please
yeah,
tell
you're
me.
good on my end.
Okay, as long as I'm good on your end, you see what they see, so then therefore should be good. And so yeah, until Eddie and friends can get 2 more participants, Homicide and Hernandez, this is where we're at.
I'm so curious of who they will have.
I think it'll end up being Homicide and Hernandez. I think that that just makes the most sense. They can't use the LAX name, but we shall see. Whew. All right. Next segment was a little bit rough. I don't know where this was going, and it certainly needs to get there if this wasn't the destination. But lights go out. Or so before that. So we have the Varsity Blondes in the ring. We were told this past week on Dark that they were going to call out House of Black. Everybody got excited because they're like, oh, this is finally the payoff to everything that's happening with Julia Hart.
Right.
Let's get it. Let's see it. Let's do it. Why didn't we pay anything off here? Pillman cuts a promo. And he is basically just talking about everything going on. He talks about his dad. He talks about everything that's been going on with Julia. And he calls out the House of Black. Lights go out. In come the House of Black. All right. Exciting things, right? And they're all surrounding him. Julia's behind. We think this is the moment where it's all going to happen. It doesn't.
And it didn't happen.
No. The House of Black just like beats the shit out of the Varsity Blondes. They hand Julia a chair, which he's holding backwards, and she then lifts it like she's going to hit. But
it was a perfect moment.
Yes. She doesn't. She hesitates. Finally, Malachi gets irritated and kind of shouts her down into a corner, starts to snatch off her eye patch. Then in come the Death Triangle, who just clear the ring. And then we go to Jade Cargill in the back. What the fuck happened here? We didn't get anything here. We didn't get anything out of this. What are you talking about?
The vibes I'm getting, it may have been Malachi's idea, and Tony probably just like, okay, let's see how this goes, and it probably just didn't fall through.
The crowd wanted this. They were chanting House of Black. The second she lifted the chair, they cheered. They were ready for this. What the fuck was this? There was no payoff to this. There's nothing. We got nothing. We come back from commercial break, or not commercial break. We come back from Jade and the Baddies. And by the way, I love that all the Baddies got to keep their catchphrases. I like that.
Yes.
Kiera still got to tell us that's on period. This is a star group. I love the Baddies. Great trio here. But we actually moved into Rey Fenix versus Dante Martin. And when we came back... So before that, though, we came back and Julia's still in the ring. So I'm like, oh, maybe we're going to follow up. And then she leaves and doesn't return for the rest of the show. I don't understand. What is this? What is happening here?
You know how it is. Sometimes you got to test the boat to see how it goes. And then, they'll always fix it. They always do.
But the Miss stuff was like 5 months ago. Like, this was the time. That was the time to play this off.
That's
And
true.
like, chat, let me know. Am I alone here? Where you guys like
I'm gonna let
kind of?
it play out.
I feel like I've been letting this play out, and I am somebody who I watch everything. I watch Dark. I watch Elevation. I watch Rampage. I watch Dynamite. I've seen a lot of Julia Hart. She's been doing this for quite some time. I just need this to go somewhere.
Yeah.
I have a lot of patience, but I also watch a lot of this stuff. So I just want to know where it's going. On the other hand, though, Rey Fenix, Dante Martin. This was a match that I didn't know I wanted until I saw the graphic and was like, yes, this is a match I want.
Match of the night, by the way.
Match of the night. Absolute match of the night. Are you kidding
It was
me?
a
You
match
could have
of the
closed
night.
with this. Dante Martin and Rey Fenix tore the house down. These guys went out there and did their thing, and I thought that they killed it in a very. You mentioned WCW. This match reminded me of those first hour of Nitro matches when Nitro had gone 3 hours and they had the cruiserweights in the first hour, and the cruiserweights were basically there to just show out and give you the cool shit. That was all I looked forward to with WCW when I was a kid was getting
I
to see
love the
those cruiserweight matches.
cruiserweight division. Now, the cruiserweight division is why I love wrestling so much.
Yeah, and this felt like a lot of that. Just give me the flippy doos and make it look really cool and make me clap. And this match did that. It gave me everything I wanted to see. It was fast paced. It had the Dante cool flips. It had the Rey Fenix great tricks, and this is fun shit. This is like for the people that this isn't for. The good news is that you only got one match like this on the show.
Yes,
I get it. There are people who don't like to see wrestling be, I guess, a gymnast routine. Fully understand that.
It'll be okay.
But man, this was fun. And I love Dante Martin. I love Rey Fenix. I actually did like the kind of double backflip spot off the top rope. A lot of people were like, what was that
cool.
supposed to be? But could have been anything. They could have been attempting a Spanish fly on each other and just weren't able to pull it off.
That's what I heard. It was supposed to be a Spanish fly, but Dante countered and Rey countered mid-air. So
and so they both landed on their feet, and then Dante hits that poison Rana, and for a moment there, it seems like he's got the victory. They just go back and forth a little bit more until finally Rey gets the kind of brain buster Falcon Arrow type move. He hits the 1, 2, 3, and Rey Fenix gets the victory. Rey Fenix moves on to the tournament, and I had a lot of fun with this.
I would love to see Dante in AAA events too.
Yeah, there's a lot of things I want to see Dante do. I want to see him do Super Juniors. I want to see him do if he could do AAA, that'd be great. I was looking forward, and unfortunately, now that it's out there, what's going on with Darius? I told people on Grapsody that I wasn't gonna say. However, now that it's out there, everybody knows what happened with Darius. I do at some point though want to see the Lucha Bros versus Top Flight. That is like a must have. I absolutely want to see that. They're talking about AAA in the chat, and yeah, a lot of things. I of course we want to see Vikingo and in AEW.
I would love for Vikingo to be in AEW.
I thought that was something we were going to see early on, and then we didn't.
Well, at Triple Mania, it was a lot of promos that they was saying that they was better than wrestlers in Japan and wrestlers at AEW. So I don't know what's going to happen.
They like snuck in at the Forbidden Door or something.
Cool. They kept saying, like Psycho Clown kept saying it, and then it's like a whole bunch of them kept saying it. So I was just like, so are they going to invade or?
Orion Ben said do a 4-way: Dante, Phoenix, Vikingo, and Trey Miguel. That would be dope. But yeah, no, this gets an A from me, simply because it was the most fun I had the entire night. By the end of the match, I was, I don't know, I felt like I'd gone on a roller coaster. I had a lot of fun with that.
They also said off screen Rey Fenix gave Dante his mask.
That's really cool.
Mask, out of respect.
Yeah, that was very cool. Most controversial segment of the night, the one that has everybody talking. Thunder Rosa comes out, cuts a promo. And she is there to talk about her successes and her failures and the things that got her to where she is today. She called out the criticism of the women's division. She had a lot to say. And she talked about wanting to call out her number one contender. She was then interrupted by Serena Deeb. Serena Deeb, who's got she is got quite a shiner from last week's match with Shida. It was actually way worse if you watched Road 2. So Coleman in the chat asks, he said, this was controversial. I liked the respectful setup. It was controversial mainly because people felt like this was a bad promo from both parties. I am going to say this. Was this an excellent promo? Not really. Was this even a good promo? Content-wise, I thought it was fine. Delivery? Probably felt like a bad 80s porno. That said, one of the biggest criticisms that I feel gets levied at Dynamite a lot is that the women don't get promo time. I believe one of the things I've seen a lot is only Britt Baker ever gets significant promo time. It is worth recognizing that not everyone is Britt Baker. And I don't mean that just from the women's side. I mean that from the men's as well. That you kind of have... So I'm a big believer that not everybody needs to be cutting promos. That yes. That's really kind of a recent phenomenon of like the last really like 15 years that everybody has to cut promos. That for the most part, you play to people's strengths. If they're really strong in the ring but not great promo people, that doesn't mean don't use that person at all. That means keep them off of promos. You let them do what they do best. If you're a good booker, you can play play to people's strengths. And I do feel like wrestling has gotten away with that has gotten away from that for a long time. Because WWE, for example, has really kind of hammered it in that you have to cut promos. No matter who you are a promo person. You're going to cut soliloquies in the middle of the ring. You're going to stand there, whether or not you cut good promos or not, you're going to welcome people to Monday Night Raw. And so,
usually that whole concept is why people expect that everywhere in yes. every promotion. They have to cut a promo.
Right. And so I feel like with this particular segment, it was an example of if you feel like everybody should be cutting promos, then you have to be willing to take the good with the bad. That you have to be willing to accept that not everybody's Britt Baker, that not everybody has that material to deliver. Because here's the thing, or Jade Cargill. I think Jade Cargill is also an excellent promo. Thank you, Amir, in the chat for bringing that up. I think Deeb and Rosa are going to deliver in the ring. They have before. They will again. These two have gone at it very well in the ring. If you feel that promos are the correct and only avenue to setting up matches, then you have to be willing to accept that not everybody delivers them as well as an MJF, as a CM Punk. Because we hear that a lot too, that, hey, we don't get CM Punk and MJF get the most promo time. Of course they do. CM Punk and MJF are the best promos. Or Britt Baker gets the most promo time in the women's division. Of course she does. She's the best promo. If everybody's going to be cutting promos, you got to be willing to take some bad promos. I don't necessarily think that anybody in particular was, in this segment, was bad in the sense of, they're just done as wrestlers. No, I don't think that at all. I just think that we got what we got here, and it set up the match respectfully between these two. I wasn't a huge fan of the fact that they kind of ignored a little bit of the history between these two. That, hey, we've seen these two face each other in AEW. Thunder Rosa came into AEW as NWA champion, lost it to Serena Deeb. Serena Deeb defended against Thunder Rosa, beat her. So at this point, Serena Deeb is actually 2-0 over Thunder Rosa in AEW.
Well, they kind of did. Serena did kind of hinted that they did have history together.
Yeah, I just feel like as far as AEW is concerned, we've been here with these two. We probably could have, I don't know, gone into how much history these two have with each other. But yeah, they did kind of hint at the fact that they did go at it before. Either way, I didn't hate this in terms of what it was supposed to do. I recognize why people didn't like it, but just understand that you kind of can't have your cake and eat it too. You can't, on one end, say that they're not getting enough promos, and I say this having seen it from the exact same people who have said that women aren't getting enough promos, but then turn around and trash this one.
Exactly. That was my whole rant earlier. You can't sit up here and complain and say we need more women's segments, we need more of this, and then when they give it, they deliver it, it's trash. They don't need to be on TV. They just love promoting trash women. They don't get some experience. Like, it's always some type of criticism, and it's unfair. Like, if you can handle women that's not good at promos in WWE, what is the difference between women in AEW or any other promotion? Because not everybody at WWE that's in the women's division can cut a promo either.
I mean, and I just feel across the board, and it's men and women. I don't necessarily feel like everybody can cut a promo, and that's okay to me. Although, credit where it's due, by the way. Somebody who was once thought to not be able to cut a promo is Dante Martin. I thought he did really good on Dark this week, calling out Rey Fenix. And I don't know if people are noticing, but that dude's kind of getting a little bit shredded, and he's growing facial hair. I feel like Dante Martin has gone from boy to man before our eyes in the last year and a half. And so it's one thing I wanted to point out there. But
I mean, because if you think about it, he faced Kenny, he done faced Adam Page, like he done faced big stars to kind of get him prepared. Hopefully, I know they'll still be a duo, but potential solo career.
I feel like, a lot of promos in AEW take place in the form of pre-tapes and backstage segments. I don't mind those, but I know that if you feel like people need to be out in the ring holding a microphone, you just have to be willing to accept what some will give with that and what some won't. And it's okay. I don't know. At least I thought it was. Main event time. I was shocked to find out this was the main event. I have theories. And Tony, if you're watching, give me a wink if my theories are correct about why this was the main event. But for the Ring of Honor Women's World Champion, it was Mercedes Martinez, the interim Women's World Champion, going one-on-one with somebody making their AEW debut, the virtuosa, Deonna Purrazzo. And this was the main event. This, again, I have
a great main event too.
I think it was a little short for my liking, but I liked it. And as far as the crowd was concerned, you have to recognize, again, crowds don't watch Impact. And so Deonna had her fans in the audience. I feel like she probably had more people behind her than Mercedes did.
Because she's one of the ones they always wanted to come to AEW, so I expected that.
Yeah, and I was actually happy to see her in this scenario because I'm gonna be honest, Deonna comes off and looks like somebody who needs to be on a big stage. I watch Impact. Don't come after me, Impact fans. But look, Impact is literally sold to this Sunday's tapings, as of this moment, 69 tickets. And I know that because nice. But they've literally sold 69 tickets to this weekend shows. Taping Impact. Deonna looks like somebody who should be in front of a crowd of thousands. And she came off like she had a star presence. The way she came down the ramp, everything about it just looked like, damn, I want to see Deonna in this setting. So I don't know when her contract's up. I know she signed in October of 2020, but I want to see her here. I also did not expect her to win. I don't know what people were thinking, but all of the disappointment over the fact that Deonna didn't win. In what universe was she going to win? In what universe was AEW / Ring of Honor ever going to let the belt remain on somebody who isn't in AEW / Ring of Honor? Do we have a guest? Oh, nope. Okay. I thought we may have had a guest. Oh, we do. All right. And so, yeah, Mercedes and Deonna, they went at it about 10 minutes in the main event. Mercedes, of course, being the person signed to AEW, the person you can guarantee is going to remain in Ring of Honor. She stuck around, and she won. My theory on why this went on last. I think when we initially got the card for the show, a lot of people felt like this was a little bit of an underwhelming card in the sense that it didn't necessarily have any of the major things that people have come to love about Dynamite. Felt like a little bit lower of a show. I think looking at the writing on the wall, I feel like this was a show that Tony was willing to experiment with. In the sense that he's talked about the fact that he's been talking with Warner, and I guess Warner Discovery, about trying to get a TV deal for Ring of Honor. I think this might have been one of those tests to see how a straight up Ring of Honor match, the match that people would view as Ring of Honor television, would perform on television and kind of sell that to Warner Media. That's my theory on why this took place where it did. Again, wink at me if I'm right, or ignore me if I'm wrong. But that's, I don't know. And I don't know if that worked or if not. I guess I do have the quarter hours. I know that particular quarter actually was fine. I mean, it was that particular quarter. Those last two quarters were the lowest quarters of the show. However, it wasn't that significant of a drop. But I now recognize what happened here. So you had to have known. They had to have known going into this that this show wasn't going to have the big lead-in audience, because there was no Big Bang Theory. They ended up playing Star Wars Rise of Skywalker, which wasn't ever going to perform as well as because for May the 4th. Everything is making sense now. So this was one of those kind of like just throwaway shows because they knew that they were up against the NBA playoffs. They didn't have the lead-in, and it's one of those can test certain things out. Now that I'm looking at the ratings themselves, and by the way, now that we have them, the ratings were... it was the lowest of the year. It was 833 watched this week's episode of Dynamite. Oddly enough, though, the demo was still about normal. And it came in. It was number 4 for the night, which is about normal for Dynamite.
Yeah.
And so that was that. That's Day After Dynamite.
Wow, that was I haven't seen that number in a while.
I know, right?
In a while.
It's been a long time since.
It's been a minute since they had that.
Yeah. So as far as that's concerned, again, it's on the lower end. But at the same time, I feel like there were some expectations with the show. I feel like they looked at this show, kind of knew where it was going to fall in terms of ratings, and kind of went with some experiments on the show. And some worked out. Rey Fenix versus Dante Martin, I think, worked out.
Yeah.
And as a matter of fact, out of curiosity, what was the peak quarter? That would have been the Blackpool Combat Club was actually the peak quarter.
Yeah, they always, if you pay attention to the court, like they always the highest.
Mm-hmm.
They're always the highest.
Yeah. So Coleman in the chat asked, didn't they get bumped for basketball last year on TNT? They did, but the playoffs, if people don't recall, because the season got delayed due to the pandemic, were in June last year, not in April or May. So we had summer playoffs last year, in case people forgot that. And then the year before that, we actually had fall playoffs. And so this is really the first year in a while that basketball's been kind of normal. So it's been kind of nice.
Because this year also for basketball has been like their highest in views in the playoffs. So yeah.
Yeah. So either way, that's Day After Dynamite. Thank you for watching this kind of screwy edition of Day After Dynamite because my audio went all wacky. But I appreciate Miss Queen Keeks being here. Thank you, Keeks. Where can they find you?
You can find me at Dastardly Duo 3, and I'm also on Facebook, Kiki L. Shepherd Sims, and I'm also on the Talk of Champions group, one of the moderators. So you can catch me on there. And that's pretty much it. I did have an Instagram, but it kept getting hacked, so I haven't created one.
Kept getting hacked. Ooh, why is somebody just continually coming after you?
No, it's one of those. I didn't even click the link, and they still end up just.
Oh, just like a phishing thing?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, either way, thank you, Queen Keeks, for being a part of Day After Dynamite this week.
Thank you for having me.
And ladies and gentlemen, that's it. I will see you next time. I will see you next week. Who's my guest next week? I know who my guest in 2 weeks is, but my guest next week, I actually don't know. But I will look at that. But either way, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for being here. Thank you for being a part of Day After Dynamite and taking a little time out of your day to hear some discussions about AEW Dynamite right here on Fightful Overbooked. Don't forget to check out some of the other shows on Fightful Overbooked. Yesterday, I was on Pillar to Post. I'm actually the current reigning Pillar to Post champion now. And I have dethroned Righteous Reg. But for real, check out everything else on Fightful Overbooked. It's a great channel. We love what we do at Fightful Overbooked. And I am just happy to continue to be a part of it. For Queen Keeks, I'm Will Washington. We'll see you next time, and have a great day.
Thank you.